today we're going to go over a very important pronunciation matter. English students pronounce the ED at the end of words as ED, which is totally understandable, but it's wrong. I even joke with my students. It should sound like anything else but ED. Remember, English is not a phonetic language. Some may say, oh, but that's just a detail, it won't interfere with my communication skills. That's when they're wrong. It will. But they will only realize that when they have to talk to a native speaker and realize that they are not being understood well. I know for a fact that in some languages, pronunciation does not play such an important role, but believe me when I say that it does in English. It's okay to have an accent, everybody does, but you should always try to speak as closely as possible as to how natives do. Americans, British, Australians. So here we go. If the last sound of the word is unvoiced except T, the ED will sound like T. Unvoiced means that you're not producing a sound in your throat with your vocal cords. You're actually doing it with your mouth. For example, in talk, the last sound is K, and it is produced with your mouth, not with your throat. So it should sound like talked. The same goes for kiss, where the S sound in the end is unvoiced. And because of that, the past tense of kiss should sound like kissed, kissed. The CH in watch is produced here, watch, and not here. Therefore, when you say watch in the past tense, you should pronounce it with T in the end, watched, watched. Now, if the last sound of the word is voiced, except D, the ED will sound like D, only D. In study, the Y sound is produced with your vocal cords, so it's a voiced sound. Therefore, study in the past should sound like studied, studied. The same thing happens with marry, so it should sound like married, married. The reason I wrote these two words in italic with Y and not I is because some of you tend to make it sound like studied or married. Think of both words in its original form with Y and then add the D sound. It usually helps my students avoid this common mistake. We also have words ending in N that present a voiced sound, such as learned, learned. Finally, if the last sound to the word is D or T, the ED will sound like id, id. Therefore, verbs such as wait and hand will sound like waited and handed, respectively. Last, we have words that don't necessarily end in T or D in spelling, but they do in pronunciation, just like hate, that although ends in E, the last sound is T, hate, hate. And that's what matters here, what it sounds like, not what it is. So hate in the past tense should sound like hated, hated. Well, that's it for today. If you liked this video, give me your thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and leave your comments below. I'll see you next tea session.